Guys, as embarrassing as it is, I've got to share a backstory first. You see, in my younger years, I had somewhat of a hoe phase. No, not with women. They didn't really like me for some reason, but a hoe phase with mousepads. You see, around the local area, I was known as somewhat of a, what's the word? What's the scientific word? Oh, here it is. Yep, it's known as being a mousepad slut. A big old fair dinkum mousepad slut. It got pretty bad. I actually got with every single artisan on the football team. You see, I am a bit of a size queen, and so I always went for the double XL over here. Look, all the artisans are great. There are some performance issues, I guess. You see, at the time, some were a bit too fast for me. One of them was pretty rough and he'd stop and then start and then stop again. And when I was with him, I developed a bit of a rash. There was one that had a really nice color, but it was just so slow. It just was not for me. And then one night, I managed to hook up with the captain, the double XL Artisan Zero Soft. I thought from that day, my mouse pad hoeing phase was over, and that we'd walk off into the sunset together, rank up in Valorant, rank up in Marvel Rivals, and of course, rank up on the Voltaic benchmarks. And don't get me wrong, we did all those things. But you know, sometimes the spark just slowly fizzles out. So anyway, I was up late one night listening to the Raw Input podcast, where they had someone on known as Kaya Ames. And that entire time, they were talking about how amazing glass mousepads were. And then I could feel it happening again. That little devil inside me coming back out. The mousepad slut was returning. I couldn't help myself. I downloaded the app Glider and I matched with someone named Zane. You see, he was very mysterious looking, but he had quite a few weird requests. Lou, I require the blood of 300 orphans. But because he was so good looking, I ignored it and used my amazing charisma and communication skills to seamlessly change the topic at hand and get what I wanted. Oi, Xanos, how about we just fuck? My negotiations won him over. He arrived at my apartment, asked me if I had protection. Of course I do. And then we got down to business. Fiddlesticks. Alright, let's actually get into the comparison, hey? This is just going to be my opinion, my experience with using the Zane as well as the CR005 compared to all the cloth pads I have used. So no bloody science or anything like that. Purely my opinion here. As someone with a lot of aim training hours and many hours in-game as well, this is what I think. So I'm going to start off with straight up who should get it. After that, I'm going to say absolutely who should not get it. And a few things you probably haven't considered, and a few little interesting things I've noticed with my experience. Alright, straight up, the number one person who I think should get a glass mousepad is if you are a messy person. Like, if you're spilling stuff, you're eating at your desk, get one of these, because if you get crumbs everywhere, if you spill anything on them, then boom, you just wipe it down and it's back to usable state. Maybe if you got kids even, like, if they're messy, right, get one of these things, because they can handle it. They can handle the mess. The second person who should get it is if you're, like, into the scene quite a bit, but you still haven't got that glass pad. I reckon do it, because it's an experience in itself. Like, it's kind of fun. It's very interesting. It's very different to cloth. You'll have some weird experiences, like you'll feel like the mouse is almost levitating on something like the Zane. It's something really hard to describe unless you've experienced it yourself, but it kind of feels like you are moving the mouse more as a person. And what I mean by that is like, I'm going to move my fingertips and then the cursor kind of moves. It sounds trippy. It sounds like I'm a crackhead, but give it a go. It's an experience in its own. All right, who should not get this pad? If you are expecting some kind of performance boost because going from cloth to glass, I wouldn't get your hopes up. There's nothing I can see for myself or what I have seen in the community that one is necessarily better than the other. But yeah, who knows? If you got money, go for it maybe. But if you're only buying it because you're expecting some kind of performance boost, I'd say don't buy the pad. If you're someone who has particularly sensitive hands, or you're someone who tends to like use their mouse fairly aggressively, I'd recommend not buying a glass pad, because you think about it, I think I've had an issue with this, is that it might not seem like it's a big deal, but if you think about how many times you tap your hand into the pad over and over, up to thousands of times a today, a cloth pad is going to absorb some of that shock, whereas a glass pad isn't. It's going to reflect it back into your hand. I used the glass pad for a long time and for a lot of hours, and I feel like I got some kind of damage in my hand, even to the point where I brought it back out recently to test it, and I could, again, feel the same pain when using the glass pad and compared to when using my Artisan Zero. So something to consider. Alright, some other things to consider is, in general, glass is going to be harder to control your mouse than cloth. This is especially true if you're going to get a fast pad like the Zane and you don't have good mouse control from the get-go. You are going to struggle. You know how you take your hand off the mouse, maybe you're reading something, maybe picking something up, and then you go back to put your hand on the mouse? Doing that with the Zane, that little initial touch before my fingers got on there, it shot the mouse forward and I wasn't able to pick up the mouse properly. That's how low the friction is on it. You might have heard that the glass pads don't wear down, and yeah, that's true, I guess, but don't think that is going to mean it's cheaper in the long run, because something's got to give, and the mouse skates will get eaten up by a glass pad 100%. So you're gonna have to be buying quite a few dot skates and replacing them a lot if you're going to be going glass. So in the long run, who knows if it's actually cheaper? It could end up being more expensive. Alright, I'm pretty sure that sums up everything. If you have some questions, chuck them in the comments and I'll probably answer them. Alright, I'll catch you later, hey? I would reply, surely you jest. That statement is utter balderdash.